Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for choosing Across the Fence. I'm Will Michael in for Fran Stoddard. It is the first Thursday of the month, which means it's recipe time here on Across the Fence. We've hopefully all been enjoying the first few official days of summer. The season really kicks off into high gear this weekend with the 4th of July holiday. And Marco, of course, is very much in the holiday theme with today's recipes, including some fireworks for dessert. Here's the chef.
Hi, I'm Marco Ayala, and I'm here to share another recipe with all of you. Summer is full on. We all want to be outside, and most importantly, the 4th of July is just around the corner. And as many of us get together to celebrate, this makes me think that this holiday really represents the fabric of our country, where we all come together, all interwoven, like really tightly, and I really love that. So if you're like many other Americans, you're probably having some people over, maybe some family, and you're gonna fire up the grill, put some hamburgers and hot dogs. But how about an appetizer? Something different, something that is sweet and savory that your family is really going to enjoy. So thinking about that, I thought, how about some Brie Bites? And let me tell you, these are so good. They may not be visually the most appealing appetizer, but trust me, they are delicious. So let me tell you how I put this together. First, you're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and you're going to grease a mini muffin tin with cooking spray. Then you're going to pop 1 tube crescent dough. On a lightly floured surface, you're going to roll out the crescent dough and pinch together the seams. You are then going to cut it into 24 squares and place each square into the muffin tins. And this is the point where you can get really creative with this recipe, because you're going to add fruit preserves to it. I personally like raspberry and blackberry, and that's what I use. However, it really depends on what your family like and what you like. You can add maybe apricot if you like sweet, citrusy, maybe some orange, or if you like a little more spicy, you can add jalapeno jelly. So it really depends on what your family likes. In this case, like I said, I decided to go for raspberry and blackberry because I like the berry and the brie together. Then you're going to add 1 tablespoon preserve to each muffin tin. Then you're going to take 1 8-ounce wheel of brie cheese, and you're going to cut it into smaller pieces. Top the preserves with a piece of brie cheese and sprinkle it with chopped rosemary. And depending on what your family likes and whether they have any kind of food allergy, you can add 1/4 cup chopped pecans or nuts. Then you're going to bake it for 15 minutes or until the crescent pastry is golden. And once your Brie Bites come out of the oven, make sure to let them rest for a little bit there in the tin, because otherwise if you take them out while they're still a little too warm, they may actually fall apart. So if you let them rest, they're gonna come out perfect just like that. And look how perfectly golden they are everywhere. So I really hope you give this recipe a try, because it's really delicious and it's something different that I'm sure your family is really going to enjoy, and it's going to be probably a highlight of your celebration. However, what will life be without dessert? I know that I say that every month, but it's true. So let me show you now for dessert something really special. Look at these cupcakes. I call them the 4th of July fireworks cupcakes. And they are not just really pretty on the outside, but they're really pretty on the inside too. And I took this one that is already been cut so I can show you that, ta-da, they're red, white, and blue on the inside as well. And you probably think that this is very complicated to make, but it's really not. So let me tell you how I put this together. You're gonna start with 1 box cake mix, and you're going to prepare it according to package directions. In this case, the box calls for 3 large eggs, 1/3 cup vegetable oil, and 1 cup water. Then with a hand mixer, you're gonna mix the batter until it's very well combined. And I wasn't lying when I said that this recipe is very easy to make. However, it can be a little time consuming because at this point, you're gonna separate your batter into 3 different bowls. Why is that? Because we're gonna color it to make the beautiful colors that are on the inside. Add about 12 drops blue food coloring to one of the containers. Mix it well. Don't be afraid to add more food coloring so your batter is really vibrant and colorful. With red food coloring in the second bowl. And the third bowl you're gonna leave as white batter. Then to a muffin tin, you're gonna add cupcake liners. And you're gonna carefully spoon 2 tablespoons batter. Then very carefully add 2 tablespoons of a different color batter. And finally, add 2 more tablespoons of the third batter. Repeat this consecutively until you run out of batter. And really the secret here is to be very careful with the batter because you don't want it to mix. You want to have this very defined lines. So you want to just pour it very carefully into the muffin tin and don't mix it because if you mix it, the colors are gonna mix together and they're not gonna be really red, white, and blue. They'll probably be very tasty, but they won't show the colors. Then you're gonna bake your cupcakes at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. At this point, you have 2 options. You can either make a made from scratch frosting with probably some cream cheese. That will probably be very tasty. You want something that is light in color because you want the contrast with the sprinkles and the cake inside. However, you can also use store-bought frosting like I did to save some time. Then you're gonna frost your cupcakes, and of course you're gonna add sprinkles to make it really pretty. And I can guarantee that these cupcakes are gonna be a hit with everyone at your party, especially the kids. And actually, probably the kids will really enjoy making them as well. And you can find this recipe and many others in our website for Across the Fence. Also, remember to follow us on social media. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest updates of Across the Fence right on your phone or your computer. And from my kitchen to your kitchen, happy 4th of July. Have a safe celebration and enjoy some good food.
Thank you, Marco. And one additional reminder, you can find our recipe archives on the Across the Fence website. The archives go back more than a decade, so you'll find plenty of menu choices. On the topic of recipes, our next story takes a Vermont favorite and turns up the heat. Vermont Maple Sriracha brings the best of Thailand and Rutland together in one delicious sauce that's perfect for just about everything. Here's Keith Silva with the story.
Lower those down a foot.
Yeah. Jackson Whalen and his business partner, Lenny, Big Lenny Montori, run Vermont Maple Sriracha in Rutland. As the company's name states, it's a very Vermont take on the ubiquitous sauce.
Our hot sauce isn't that spicy by hot sauce standards. You're not going to regret it a day later if you have Vermont Maple Sriracha. And every bottle is unique because every harvest of peppers is different. So we might get a batch of jalapenos that's slightly hotter than the last one, but because we don't add anything like xanthan gum or any of these thickeners or water to it, we can't adjust the heat. So the heat is what it is. It's relatively consistent, but we've had batches at a certain point in the season where the peppers just happen to be hotter.
It took Whalen and Montori 7 tries before they got the recipe to their liking. It's personal preference that guides their business decisions, for better or for worse.
Everything we do here is how would we do it if we did it for ourselves. So when we first started making sriracha, we would buy these bushels of peppers. And after a pepper gets picked, the first thing that doesn't look good on it is the stem. It starts to dry out. So traditionally, if you're manufacturing hot sauce at scale, you clean everything, but you throw the stems in with it, you grind it up, it becomes part of the sauce. When we were making this, 10 gallons at a time on Lenny's stove, we cut every stem off because that's the way we wanted it, because we were going to eat it ourselves. So the same reason, that's why we kept the recipe simple, because we make it like we'd make it for ourselves. Now in terms of economics and profitability, that's kind of coming around to bite us, but we keep reminding ourselves that the reason that people like it so much is because we did take the time to cut the stems off. We did take the time to figure out how to make this natural sauce, preserve it naturally, and not put artificial ingredients into it. If it's not something we would do for ourselves, then we don't do it. So that's sort of the guiding principle of everything we make here.
The production of Vermont Maple Sriracha has gone from being made on Big Lenny's stovetop to a nearby commercial kitchen. Here at the Vermont Farmers Food Center, west of downtown Rutland, Whalen and Montori have built a facility to process Sriracha-flavored cashews, what they call Sriracha shoes. Expansion was another decision that wasn't in the business plan or done by the book.
What business plan? I mean, it's really entrepreneurship by gut. Everything we've done here, we've been told was not possible and that we shouldn't try and do. So if we had paid attention to all the business books and business planning advice that we've gotten, you and I wouldn't be standing here and we wouldn't be making Sriracha shoes because we wouldn't have been able to take control over it. So we've kind of had to throw a lot of that out the window. And specialty food's a particularly brutal, low-margin business to begin with, so you have to have a little blind ambition,
At $10.99 a bottle, consumers have to show a little blind faith as well. Whalen says customers tell him it's worth every penny.
Yes, our hot sauce is expensive compared to other hot sauces produced at a giant, massive scale. But I think the people that appreciate it value what we put into it and are willing to keep supporting us. So we've been really encouraged that things have continued to grow. We haven't had any artificial spikes where we've crashed really hard. That's an excellent question. Why do we keep doing this? And it really is motivated by the response we get from the people who are eating it.
If there's one thing to say about Vermont Maple Sriracha, it's not too hot, but it sure is getting hotter. In Rutland, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.
And that is our program for today. We know you have choices, so thanks for choosing us. I'm Will Michael, inviting you to join us back here each weekday afternoon for another visit Across the Fence.